And without further ado, Sur Block.
This next song is called Gucci Tape. We count in the Yaqui language. Sanu Woi Vahi Nike.
I
KXCI Tucson. My name is Sophie Gibson Rush. You're tuned into to 91.3 KXCI Tucson. This is Sur Block live in Studio 2A. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Can we start out, as is the tradition, by introducing ourselves? Starting over here. Everyone has a mic, right?
Yes.
Riley, you got it? Good.
My name is Cruz. I play the synth.
My name is Peter. I play the synth and the guitar.
My name's Alyssa. I'm lead vocals.
Ricardo, I play guitar.
Dick Shawnee, bass.
And I'm Riley, I play drums.
Cool. Well, we're so glad to have y'all here. And just real fast, Cruz and Peter, you guys are brothers.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have to go that in detail, but it's valuable.
Yeah, that's my little brother.
Yeah. So really fast, I just want to take a second to tell the very romantic story of how we met. Because it was really meaningful to me. I went to a house show where it was, by design, a show where everyone was supposed to sit down. And Sur Block played, and it was impossible, like truly impossible for the room to sit. And it was a really kind of important experience for me, because that feeling of being compelled to move and dance is so present in your music all the time. So a lot has happened since that show, and I'm wondering if you can just give our audience a breakdown of what you've been up to, because you've been working really hard for the past 4 or 5 months, I think.
Yeah, we've just been trying to write more music. That was a really good experience for us. We'd never done anything like that before. And we were actually, I was pretty much honest because, or I was nervous because I felt like we were going to be extremely loud because everyone else there was acoustic. But I'm really glad that a lot of people enjoyed it. I thought that we were going to like blow everybody's eardrums out. So yeah, we've been just working really hard on music, writing new stuff, just getting ready, making sure that everything's super clean so we can just rock out really hard with everybody else.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but just really fast, one more time. How do you write songs? How does that process go?
It usually starts off with, we have songs like in a song bank. I have songs in a song bank that I usually tap into.
What is the song bank? Is
It's
it
just
a
bunch of
Google Doc
ideas.
or?
No, it's just voice memos on your phone. But usually Ricardo and I will go over the instrumental part of it, and then from there we'll work on the melody and start building the melody up. And then I'll call Alyssa and tell her, hey, I have something, let's work on it, and then we'll work on it from there. And that was the case for a really long time. And then I think we started to feel for each other's sound, and we got the idea of a group of what we sound like. So now, like Dick Shawnee, he's been helping us out, and he just gave me this nasty bass riff that we've been working on. And we got another, so the first song that we'll be playing on the next set is a song that Cruz had in his song bank and his hard drive for like a couple years, and he let me hear it, and I was like, yeah, we got to make that into a song. So after that, we just get into the melody writing and the lyric writing, and that's the way it usually works out with us.
Yeah, there are a lot of members of this band, and I know that you joked before in the most good-hearted way that you're kind of like the Arcade Fire of Tucson, because there is kind of like that gang vocal element to it sometimes. And I'm wondering, like, what are the times when songwriting gets tough with this larger group of people, and how do you get through that?
I think when we're trying to challenge ourselves, like one of the songs we'll be playing today is Riley, and there's a lot of different tempos that we have in that song, and that one was pretty difficult for us when we were first writing it, and it was pretty frustrating. But now it's become something where, we just worked really hard towards it, and it's become one of our favorite songs. I think it's really awesome that we all bring something completely different to the table, and I really, really value that, because we start off with one thing and then it's completely different by the time we're finished with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Like, we try to be as loud as we can, but hopefully not drown each other out. So
Yeah, and I feel like if it is a challenge, we just like play it so many times to where it just like kind of becomes natural.
And we also have like 20 original songs or 20 plus original songs, so it's hard to almost neglect those songs and go to a new song, because I feel like on some of the older songs we're still reinventing them, and we're still saying like, okay, there's other stuff that we could add to it. So then when it comes to like incorporating a new song, it's kind of like it has to fit right in, or else, like, because we think, oh well, we have an older song that we haven't played in forever that is better than that song. So
Yeah.
that's usually the way it gets kind of difficult. But the good thing is, I think between like all of the musicians, we have an idea of what we want, and also we're always creating ideas, and we just bring them to practice and just try to figure it out. And then everybody gets together. They'll send me what they have for ideas, and we'll just like start writing, getting melodies together.
Cool. Yeah. So I know that you guys have been a band for 2 years plus, and you've been, you haven't played out like constantly. Like it's been kind of a slow roll up. Please correct me if I'm wrong with any of
No,
that.
that's correct.
Yeah.
That was my plan.
Yeah, and this is the first release that you're doing. So with all of that history and all of that practice, it must be so many hours, and all the 20 plus original songs, how did you get it down to an E EP?
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy,
We all had
no.
our opinions.
Yeah, we fought on it for a while. There was almost a breakup on it. No.
Just some Real Housewives.
Yeah, I think we had an idea of the songs that we wanted, like, as far as like to diversify what we're able to do, and just to showcase what like the different styles that we can play. And we never try to limit ourselves when it comes to music. Like we always, it's hard to box us in a genre because we're constantly just trying to switch things up, and we're not really trying to make like make ourselves different. We're just trying to be better versions of what we already are, and like we're constantly like working to work that out.
Yeah, and there is a really eclectic number of influences, and some of them are cultural. And the second song in that set has the chorus that's counting in Yaqui. What parts of Yaqui music or Yaqui culture did you bring to this particular process of the EP?
With Cruz and I, we've been involved with our culture since we were younger. We participate in our ceremonies. We have different ranks in our ceremonies that we also participate in. And for us, it's there's a lot of music in our ceremony, and there's a lot of different elements of singing and instrumentation in our ceremonies. So we have some of our most like the stuff that we're around most often. It's all based on music, so we're constantly listening to that. And I think we've been those easy, like, I mean, music's just universal, where you hear a chord and it resonates and you think, man, like we can make that into a song. And there's been times like in Gucci Tape when I knew that Sena Woi Vahi Nike like would go just perfect. And we also have song titles with the Yaqui language, and we try to incorporate that because ultimately that's exactly who we are. And we're two Yaqui brothers, and when we sit down we write music, we want that to show in our writing because we just want to make sure we like throw ourselves out there and make sure like our voice is heard as Yaqui people.
Yeah, and you said that growing up there was lots of music. Can you get a little, just because I don't know a lot about Yaqui music, like what did it sound like in your house?
Well, Yaqui music for us, we have a lot of there's different elements. There's like the pre-European instrumentation, like with water gourds and raspers, and then there's also what we have like after the Europe influence, and they use guitar, they use harp, they use violin, and it's some of the most beautiful music we have. But we've been fortunate enough where our father and his brothers were part of a band, and they were part of like a norteño group. So we've had that music around us 24/7. Like, I mean, we had so many family get-togethers, and just my dad wakes up and just wants to play his bajo sexto for the night and or for the day, and it's music has always been around our house. So we've been fortunate enough to always have that the instruments and the support from our family as far as like when it comes to music, and
Yeah.
his dad and his my grandfather and his brothers were also in a band. So like it's passed through generations.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we have to keep it going.
Yeah, that's some deep local stuff. And then, so I also hear with that, I hear everything from like hip hop to, really, really cutting edge pop. What are you guys listening to right now? Like, what excites you?
kind of just listen to everything at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Just
Kinda
take
hard
bits
to
and-
pinpoint it.
Yeah, just take bits and pieces from each thing, and the kind of good thing about this band is that like when one of us brings one thing to it, like we just trust each other enough where they can go ahead and just expand on that. So
Yeah, and the influence is there from I mean, we all have our different backgrounds as far as our music, and even bands that we started off playing with when we were younger, and you know that. I mean, he has a ska tattoo on him. So there's a lot of different influences. Like me and Ricardo used to just be in the living room and play Radiohead songs like all day, and we just that's how we got to know each other.
So,
and play with
How long have you guys known each other?
probably like 15 years maybe, like since like middle school.
And did you kind of teach each other to play, or?
We were never good. We just had a lot of passion, and like we were into punk and hip hop and like you said, Radiohead, and kind of just mixing that. And when we first started, it was from the Old Pascua neighborhood, so we would meet there, we'd practice there, we'd learn the songs there, and I feel like that had a big influence because it's literally on Calle Sur, so Sur Block,
Oh,
and you know.
there we go.
There's a lot of history, and then there's just a lot of
History and
eclectic
a lot of pop
mix.
culture that goes through OP. There really is.
Yeah, and then just before we hop into the next set, I just want the quick history of how you all came together, because it is a large group and it's an eclectic group. And how did everyone get funneled into this?
Should I give her the rundown?
Yeah.
So these three right here had a little project a couple of years back.
Need names because we're on the radio.
Oh, sorry. Cruz, Pops, and Alyssa. They had a little project back in the day, and I did their band photos. I was like almost like the fourth member. Anyways, years later, like me, Pops, and Alyssa hired Riley. We worked together at the news, and then we brought back Cruz, the original member, and Nick.
And we actually played our first show, and it was a house show at my house. And Nick came up to us, and he was like, "Yo, you guys need a bassist? I can play bass."
That's how it happened.
Also, we didn't have a drum set.
Like, we were looking for that, yeah. So
Yeah, and then I did the same thing to you guys, except I was like, "Do you guys want to be on a show?"
I was looking for any excuse to be in a band.
he didn't know what he got himself into. That's the problem.
Well, it's pretty awesome, you guys. Do you feel like you want to play some more music?
Yeah.
Yes. This next set is about 4 songs, right?
Yes.
Sweet. Stay tuned. 91.3 KXCI. I'm Sophie, hosting Locals Only for Matt Milner this week. This is Sur Block. Take it away, you guys.
Touch my head, but I've got my pride, and the waves always come back. Let's hope we make it to the other side. Then we close our eyes, and we both tell lies. And the waves always come back. Let's hope we make it to the other side. More reasons hang themselves to death. All of my senses came and left. Believe we're counting all last days. I've got a feeling that you don't know what to say. Then you touch my hair, but I've got my pride. And the waves always come back. Let's hope we make it to the other side. Then we close our eyes and we both tell lies. And the waves always come back. Let's hope we make it to the other side. 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 To the other side.
Can I get more synth?
My eyes roll, my feet froze, my heart knows it's true, it's true. My chest caves, a sweat breaks, I know it's you, it's you. You've got my heart now, forever, forever. You've got my heart now, forever, forever. They'll say you're being a fool, but I know. And they'll say it's nothing new, but I know. You've got my heart now, forever, forever. You've got my heart now, control these voices. The engine through the gates made home.
Yeah, Riley, way to go. 91.3 KXCI Tucson. My name is Sophie Gibson Rush. You are listening to Locals Only, and we have Sur Block live in Studio 2A. So stoked to have you here. Alyssa, you can really sing. How did you discover that? Was there a moment where you were like, this is something I have. This is a real thing?
Well, when I was younger, kind of same thing with Pops and Crews, my family sings a lot and plays instruments, and my mom was constantly around the house, doing chores, singing and everything, so I just kind of started doing that with her, and then one day she was just like, oh my gosh, you can sing. She freaked out, put me in lessons, and then I went to a middle school and high school that were both performing arts, and then I actually went to college, and I'm classically trained. I went to school for vocal performance, and then I got my associates, but then now I work at Buffalo Exchange, and I've just had a band since then, and I've just been working hard, and that's that.
I feel like there are legions of us who went to art school and live in Tucson and are doing something creative following our dreams.
Yeah.
That's cool.
My little brother and I, because it was our first project that we wanted to have together, and so we were making music, and we're thinking, how are we going to perform this and sing at the same time? I was like, I'm not singing. He's like, I'm not singing. And I was like, I know someone. So I'm best friends with her sister. And I was like, I need your sister. And I wasn't too familiar with her. I just knew she could sing. And then she came around and I was like, Cruz, she's on. So
She's drafted.
Yeah, she's drafted. Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of the content and the lyrics it spans a wide array of emotions, but to me, it seems to be coming really from the heart. Do you write the lyrics? Does everyone write the lyrics?
Pops and I do most of it. He does 80% of it, and I bring 20. We've been trying really hard I've been trying to work more and be more involved in it. But anytime I get any of the songs and the lyrics, I really try to put myself in the position of really what it means so that I can feel emotion, because that's really the best way for me to sing. So yeah, that's just...
And if something doesn't connect with you emotionally, do you change it?
I don't change it. I think what I do is I just try to ask him really what was he thinking, or what we're really trying to go for in the song. Sometimes they're irrelevant to me, but I still try my best to connect to them.
And that's with our whole process. When she does, she will I think I've told you this before. She kind of makes it more girl-like, and it's hard for me to write.
Feminine energy.
Yeah, it brings that feminine energy, and that's what I lack sometimes. I do my best, but that's what we lack. It. So when I call her up, I'm like, yo, I need help. Sometimes I get a little writer's block, and I think the pride wants me to not necessarily put that stuff in there, but she's like, no, and of course, when we write our melodies, and she'll always ask me, so what were you thinking in this melody? And we'll hum it out. And from there, I'm like, well, it's about this, and I'm thinking this and that. And so then that's when we'll get together and we'll just finish writing, because the music, we let the music come first, and then the lyrics last. That way it has that energy, and we could match it on that energy instead of coming with something already that's written and then trying to match it later. It doesn't. For other people it does work, but for us it doesn't
really work for us.
We have to feel the song out, and once we feel the song out, it's okay, this song is about this. Let's write about it.
And it becomes clear in that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And usually it's just I'll have a recording that Ricardo or Cruz sent me, And I'm just like, okay, like, and I'm humming it, and I'm like, okay, do you get this? Like, and we'll collab on like a melody or something like that. She's like, yeah, okay, let's get to it. So.
Or he'll have something completely different, and I'll have something completely different, and then we're like, okay, let's figure it out. Like, which one's better? Or can we do them both?
Yeah, like I like a certain note that she hits where I wasn't even thinking that. So it always works out having two people making the melodies, and then we could put them together and just be like, okay, like now it's perfect. Like now this is what we're gonna go with.
Yeah, awesome. Just shifting gears real fast. Well, not really. Congress this Saturday, and actually the segue would be, Alyssa, you're a really engaging performer live. Like, you move a lot, and I don't know, does that come from classical vocal training, like all of that, like grounding and moving, or I mean, seeing all of you live is a really physical experience, like I said at the top of the show.
I would say it definitely helps with my nerves, because I always have, I'm always nervous, and I've grown to really use that to my advantage. And so when I move, it makes me less tense. I feel more comfortable. And to be completely honest, I tell them all the time, but I feel like when I'm on stage, I become a completely different person. I almost like black out because I'm just really trying to be like a different human, like a different myself, and so a different part of myself. And so the dancing, I just try to really feel the music. Honestly, I love to dance in general, so when I'm singing and dancing, it works out. Right.
That was a problem that we had also with the recording, was that we got used to being such a live band. That's all we've really known, is just being a live band, and that's by plan. We wanted to create our sound through live shows, and then figure out what works and build on that, and then keep building on that to make the band a lot better, to take it like the slow route. But when we're recording, it's hard to get that, because we're like, oh man, like, I mean, we're so used to just being on stage just going crazy.
Yeah.
And when we're in a studio, but
throw a click track in there.
Yeah.
Makes it.
I had that experience recently where I had only been recording with violin for a really long time, and then I did something live, and I told them beforehand that I had terrible rhythm, and then it was fine with a live drummer, but like with the click recording, it's so difficult sometimes.
We respond to the crowd too.
Yeah.
That's why that house show was special. Like, we walked up and we're like, oh man, we're gonna be way too loud, but it ended up working, and I think it's something to see.
Yeah.
And we have different components, so we could go like softer route, we could go heavy route, but I was like, okay, we're going to be in a house, like we're going to be packed in there. I don't care if everyone has to sit down. We're going to blast them, so let's go heavy set. So that, I mean, it worked out.
What's the set for Congress? Is it heavy set?
It's everything.
It's make it stretch
Yeah.
set.
And you guys are performing with two other amazing musicians. Well, groups. Who are they?
Street Blues Family and Lando Chill.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love Street Blues. Well, we love Lando Chill also. Yeah. Lando's a good friend of ours, and he's always been supportive.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's.
We've played with Street Blues before. I forget which show, but it
Monsoon
was
Collective show.
Yeah,
Monsoon Collective, and
Ray
that was
Murph
really
is
awesome.
like my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
He's my favorite rapper. Like no disrespect. I mean, we love Lance, but like Ray Murph, like that's. I was like, we have to get him. Let's get him, because like I love him, and I mean, we're so grateful that Lando, like will like say yes to us, because we're like, man, are you really gonna like
coming up?
Yeah,
both of them though. So we're really grateful that we were able to get two artists that we really admire and also play with us, so that we can have really great energy. Because I feel like all of us are doing something completely different in Tucson, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's what, when I saw that billing, I thought it was pretty awesome. It's pulling from every corner of this local family that we have going on. Anything else people should know specifically about Congress, about the EP release? We could get really logistic. What time?
So doors are at 7. Get there early because it's gonna be lit.
Lit. It starts at 7. It's $5, 21 and up. And we're gonna have
Saturday. Get
this
there.
Saturday.
And you'll have the EPs there?
Yes,
right?
we'll have EPs. We'll have T-shirts, stickers, buttons, all of the above.
And is that the day? Is that the day that the EP will be released, or is it coming out digitally before then?
So same day.
Saturday,
July 29th. It'll be on Amazon, Spotify, everywhere.
iTunes.
Cool.
Yeah, that was an important part too, because it's hard to get anyone to listen to a CD. or to put the CD. Like you have to be in your car. So really like the only time. You can
Or
get-
here at KXCI,
Yeah, or
which is
exactly,
stacked
which
with
is great,
CDs.
yeah. So and we had to make sure we were in every kind of platform we could possibly be on because
Yeah.
the ears are the most important part. And
Yeah.
if you can't make it on Saturday by any means, like please support and listen to it, and we won't disappoint. I swear.
Yeah.
Like, we won't.
We just have a couple of minutes left, but in this interview segment, and then we'll hop back into the music. But I just want to know, did you? I feel like you told me this before, but did you record this on your own, or was it? It was at Luna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we recorded at Luna with George, who's a good friend of mine. He is just so legit.
Yeah.
He's great. We went in there, and he's the type of guy that will give you his honest feedback about what's working, what's not working. And there's even some tracks where he's doing some guitar work and some keyboard stuff. So it was great having him.
Yeah,
you know,
it
It was a
help us
really good
out.
experience.
And it was a bit intimidating because Nick told us, he could be really straightforward and, and so we're like, I'm thinking, oh man, we're gonna work this angry old man, but he liked it. He liked it, so it worked out. Like, yeah, he was very positive, and it was a little intimidating, but it worked out with him, and he knows his
that
stuff,
click
so.
that click track, you know.
The click track. The click track is scary.
And Nick, do you work there? Are you a sound engineer there? Or?
No, I do video stuff, and I've just worked with him. He does the audio stuff on some of the similar projects we've worked on. So
Cool.
I just met him several years ago on a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you guys. Well, jump back into your second set, but first, 91.3 KXCI. My name is Sophie Gibson Rush. This is Locals Only, and we are here live in Studio 2A with Sur Block. They're just going to jump right back into the music. This is their final set, but not to worry, you can catch them on Saturday at Club Congress. Thanks so much for being with us.
we're going down. But listen, Charlie, we're going down. They've got us backed into a corner. They've got us figured out. How did this happen to us, baby? They know us very well. But listen, Charlie, we're going down. But listen, Charlie, we're going down. I can't stop, baby. Why all the worry? I can't stop, baby. Where is this going? But listen, Charlie, we're going down. 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 I'll show you where to run when they come. I'll show you where to run when they come. Don't you get caught? Don't you get caught? I'll show you where to run when they come. I'll show you where to run when they come.
KXCI Tucson. My name is Sophie Gibson Rush, sitting in tonight for Matt Milner, and this has been Sur Block live in Studio 2A. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
us.
Thank you.
Really, always a treat to sit in this room. So thank you so much. You can catch.